Toyota Strat Wrestler here. Just having a little fun with some G licks I've been working out. Haven't quite got it as smooth as I'd like it, but I've been working on it. So I'm going to turn my guitar down a little bit here. Got my favorite pedals on again. I don't have the reverb on right now though. Oh yeah, I do. So I want to make this a beginning guitar lesson. Go over some of the things I see beginning guitar players ask about on the Facebook groups. And one of the first fundamental skills is tuning your guitar. And we have tuners these days, so you can use those, but it probably doesn't hurt to find a good video and learn how to tune your guitar and be able to tell by ear whether it's in tune or not and mess with the tuning. I know it can be frustrating. A lot of beginning guitar players have that experience of tuning something too high and breaking strings, and all those things are just kind of growing pains that some of us have to go through. But once your guitar is in tune, you're going to be able to tell if you already know a chord, like a D chord, right? If one of those strings is out of tune and it sounds more like this, that doesn't sound right. I'm bending a string to make it sound that way on purpose, or maybe this one. You know it's out of tune, so you got to recheck your tuning. And learning how to play in tune is important. So I paused it for a second there. That's the first time I've done that in a video. I had to go get a refreshing beverage. So we talked about tuning, playing in tune. And what I mean by that is sometimes as you're learning to play chords and other parts on your guitar, you'll stress or stretch or push your fingers in an awkward manner, and it'll cause the string to bend, and that will cause it to sound a little out of tune, like you could hear the difference between that, right? First way was I was slightly pushing the string out of tune, and then I let go and went back into a more natural, relaxed position, and it sounds better. Guitars can be frustrating at first with the tuning because, for one thing, guitars are not designed in a way that are perfectly in tune. They can't get perfectly in tune. The intonation is not perfect. And what I mean by that is, if it's perfectly in tune at these frets, it might be slightly out of tune up here or way down here. It can get close enough that you can compensate a little bit with touch and feel. You can tone your guitar precisely. Learning about intonation is part of tuning. I won't go into that here. I think there's a type of nut, which is this part of the guitar here, this white stripe here, where your strings come over, that has some different spacing for each string that's supposed to help. I forget what it's called, a Buzz Freeton or something like that nut. I've never invested in one of those. Some people claim it makes them able to keep their guitar perfectly in tune. I haven't had a need for that. The trick that I've learned is I will get all the notes at the 4th fret in tune, and I do that by playing a chord that fingers each one. Like this is fingering the 4th fret, and I'll get that in tune, and then I'll finger one here that's on the A string, and then one that's on the D string, and one that's on the G string, and one that's on the B string, maybe, and then somebody taught me that as a way that it's the optimum compromise in intonation. I don't know if that's true or not. But those are just some ideas about tuning. And now about practicing your beginning guitar. What I'm going to show you, you should only do about 5 or 10 minutes a day. This is not something you want to do for hours. If you're just beginning guitar, it can get very frustrating and it can tire you out emotionally and mentally. Always have time during the day to have fun with your guitar and just goof off. I mean, if all you're doing is just I don't know what kind of little bits and pieces you've picked up that you can play, but have some fun. First song I ever learned was a 2-chord song called Polly Wolly Doodle, and I played the heck out of that song. Probably sounded horrible at first, just with the D and the A7 chord. It's probably about what it sounded like on a good day without anything out of tune or bent or something. But you'll want to learn the names of the strings and what number they are. That's kind of fundamental, so it helps you understand when other people tell you, play the 3rd fret on your 6th string. Well, that's your 6th string is your low E string, and there's the 3rd fret. So, in case you haven't already learned, your strings are your low E, A, D, G, B, and E. It's your high E. There are 2 E strings. That's standard tuning. And the number associated with each one of these, from your low E string up to the high E string, is 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. 1st string is high, 6th string is low. That might be confusing to some people, but that's just kind of the way it is with the guitar. So if you're doing a style where you're wanting to learn to pick and hold a pick, then what you'll want to do is this for a while. You just want to pick all the way down and pick each string separately. And then back up with upstrokes all the way back up. Do that nice and slow and smooth. Later on, you will start incorporating a metronome to play things like that in time. But at first, I don't think that's necessary. And then you will learn to alternate pick, maybe, where you pick down on one and up on the next one. And if you're having trouble with that, you can just pick your low E string and pick down, up, alternate picking. And maybe go back and forth between your low E and A string. And maybe alternate between them. Just find little exercises there to get your fingers used to holding a pick and picking a string and getting to learn what that feels and sounds like. Now if you're doing finger picking, then you probably want to lay your fingers so that your thumb's on top of a string and then your others are up underneath it so that you can pluck them and do something like this. Now I've developed a technique where I hold a pick and finger pick, something like this. That's just my preference, and I played for many years before I decided that's how I wanted to handle the whole switching between flat picking, which is what some people call holding a flat pick and picking, and finger picking. And as you learn chords, then you will learn to do this and play the notes that go with the chord, something like this, playing a D chord. Or you want to relax, you want to do it nice and slow and easy, 5-10 minutes a day until you can get things smooth. And it starts to feel more natural to you and you don't have to think about it as much. So that's a real basic lesson on how to get started. I know this stuff's boring at first, but if you do this just a little bit every day, I guarantee you it'll make things start to feel a little smoother and a little more natural for you. So, until next time, get your guitar and go play some music.